What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Fast. Today, let's get started with Dominick Cruz views his next fight as his final one. After a 2+ year layoff, Cruz returns February 22nd versus Rob Font at UFC Fight Night 252. The sudden re-emergence in the competitive field had many fans wondering if the 39-year-old would hang up the gloves thereafter. For me, it is. It's not because of my mentality, not because of my skill set. Yeah, I lost my last fight, but I was in that fight every minute of the fight. It wasn't one of those situations where I was bowing out of the fight. I looked at that fight, I go, okay, don't be too harsh on yourself. This is part of the game. You get hit, you get caught. These things happen. But I was in the fight. I wasn't slower. I wasn't looking behind a step. I wasn't not choosing the good techniques. Those are all things I add to my mindset before moving into this last 9 months as well. The skills are still there. It's just a matter of all the injuries and stuff. Can I keep them together to get through the camp? The camp is the hard part. We all know that. It's not really the fight. Henry Cejudo sees Song Yadong as a good stylistic matchup. Cejudo and Song square off in the UFC Fight Night 252 headliner, February 22 at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. Cejudo will look to snap a 2-fight losing skid against one of the division's most promising contenders. But with his championship experience, Cejudo thinks he'll have the edge. Despite Cejudo's confidence, Song has been booked in 5-round fights multiple times in his career. His most recent win came in a main event against Chris Gutierrez at UFC Fight Night 233 in December 2023. Stylistically, we're both kind of little muscular humans. Song is a little taller, but he probably does cut a lot of weight. I personally like the fight stylistically as well. I think Song is going to bring a lot of power, uses a lot of hands, but we also know that once you start doing some other things, he'll be fading away just a bit. I have a good game plan set in place for a guy who is about 10 years younger than me. Song is a tough opponent, and I like it, but I can see myself stopping this man. He's going to need a lot more than a fortune cookie, let me tell you. Jiri Prochazka reveals visiting Volcano and beautiful places was part of his training camp. As he gears up for his highly anticipated fight against Jamal Hill at UFC 311, Prochazka has pushed the envelope by visiting active volcanoes in Mexico and beautiful places in Japan. While some may find it odd, Prochazka sees it as a way to stay grounded and mentally prepared for the battles ahead. Whether this unique regimen will give him the edge in the octagon remains to be seen, but if it has helped him win the UFC world title, then he's doing something right. But what I want to say, everybody knows that I had a camp in Japan, beautiful camp, amazing camp, visiting beautiful places, trained with the biggest masters of karate. Then in Mexico City, climbed the Popocatépetl mountain, a volcano. Prochazka has often emphasized that camps are as much for the conditioning of the mind as they are for the body. And in his mind, the former light heavyweight champion is a samurai of the old. Umar Nurmagomedov issues UFC 311 press conference challenge to Merab Dvalishvili. Umar Nurmagomedov wants Merab Dvalishvili to back up his words before UFC 311. Dvalishvili begrudgingly accepted the undefeated Nurmagomedov as his first challenger after claiming the belt from Sean O'Malley in September, but he has made it no secret that he thinks it's undeserved and only a product of family lineage. Even this week, Dvalishvili dubbed Nurmagomedov as a spoiled little baby and vowed to hand him his first loss. For Nurmagomedov, none of it is personal, and he's not looking to get petty with any exchange of words. A lot of people around the world can just talk. For me, I just want to take his belt, and if this guy has something bad with me personally, he'll have to do something. I will close all questions in the cage, and after that, we'll see what he's going to do. What he's talking, I think he will try to prove it. When he's talking about I am disrespecting his country, I want him to show, not just talk. If you're talking something, please show it. In a fight, anything can happen. I can't tell you, this is not going to happen, never. But this guy will not beat me. I can tell you this one. I don't know about takedowns or something else, but he will never beat me. He don't have skills to beat me. Tim Welch sees only positives coming from Suga's social media break. Sean O'Malley's coach is confident of seeing an improved iteration of the former UFC bantamweight champion following a change to his approach in 2025. Not many fighters have been able to accumulate the kind of social media following and presence that O'Malley has since rising to prominent on mixed martial arts' biggest stage. That result seems to have brought about a significant adjustment for Suga as he gears up for his pursuit of regaining the crown in 2025, with the Montana native revealing plans to take a break from social media. During a recent appearance on Submission Radio, coach Tim Welch expressed his support for the decision, suggesting that an O'Malley who is focused on nothing but the cage will mark a dangerous proposition for his opponents. He's worked so hard for years on these socials, and you'd be surprised by the amount of money he makes on them. It's crazy, but it's like right now, to win in this top 5, you've got to be focused on your training. Being creative on Instagram, being creative on Snapchat, being creative on YouTube, and then worried about all your deliverables and when they'll be posted. Your mind's thinking about all this stuff, and it takes more energy than you think. Every single person wants you on their podcast. Every single person wants you at their party. Celebs and athletes, they're messaging you, asking to hang out, and you're just taking all this in. So for him to put it all down, to put Snapchat down, to put Instagram down, put the YouTube down, he needs to do that, and it's going to be able to take him to the next level. Caio Borralho offers one-sided prediction for potential Dricus Du Plessis versus Alex Pereira UFC superfight. Caio Borralho doesn't give Dricus Du Plessis any chance to beat Alex Pereira. Middleweight champion Du Plessis was previously called out by light heavyweight champion Pereira, but talks of a potential matchup have since simmered down. But if the two were to fight, Borralho thinks Du Plessis' unorthodox style will cost him against the power and precision of Pereira. I think he can beat DDP easily. I think very easily he can beat DDP. I think Khamzat Chimaev is a different story because of the grappling, but Alex is definitely getting better at defending takedowns. He's a big guy, very big guy. It would be hard for Khamzat to keep him down. He made a good choice moving up to the light heavyweight division. I think he can knock DDP out really easily because DDP commits a lot of mistakes in his fights and a lot of openings. If you leave even a small opening with a guy like Alex, you're going to get knocked out. Renato Moicano has assessed the featherweight king's chances up a division. UFC lightweight contender Renato Moicano has little doubt that featherweight champion Ilia Topuria would thrive up at 155 pounds. While Topuria has competed as a lightweight in his career, he's gained major prominence down at 145 pounds, where he occupies the throne on mixed martial arts' biggest stage. I think Ilia Topuria is very good and he is smaller, like I say, but if he can defend the takedowns, and I know he has a good ground game, so if he can defend the takedowns, I think he could knock a lot of people out at 155 pounds. He fought at lightweight. He fought Jai Herbert. I fought Jai Herbert. I know Jai Herbert is very good and very tall, taller than me, so I don't think size and frame would be a problem. Joe Rogan retracts claim of Jon Jones' pay demand for Tom Aspinall fight. Joe Rogan on Thursday walked back what he now says was a falsehood he reported on his podcast and said he felt obligated to tell everybody it was not factual. On his Joe Rogan Experience podcast, Rogan recently said heavyweight champion Jon Jones is rumored to be seeking $30 million to fight interim champ Tom Aspinall. But after Rogan went public with the $30 million number he now says was merely a rumor, it caused enough of a ripple effect that UFC CEO Dana White reached out to Rogan to refute the claim. I had heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, and I did hear that rumor, and I did hear that the UFC said yes, but that's not true. So I felt obligated to tell everybody that was a fake rumor. We did that podcast 2 weeks ago. I don't remember who told me that. Apparently Jon is thinking about retiring. He should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight, so leave him alone. If he decides one day to come back and he comes back and he wants to fight Tom Aspinall for the heavyweight title, the question is, how long are you allowed to hold on to that title before they start having that conversation?